ball sports are the most popular athletic activities for humans, with soccer, basketball, and others sweeping the world. Some sports are more dangerous, such as American football, where players breaking bones is a common occurrence. However, there was once an even more insane form of ball sport, car polo, where players risked their lives to play. Car polo originated from horse polo, an equestrian sport that dates back to ancient times and was popular in China during the Tang dynasty. Each team had 4 horses and corresponding riders, who used long-handled mallets to hit a small ball into the opponent's goal to score. It was even an Olympic sport from 1900 to 1936 and was very popular in Europe. As automobiles became more prevalent in Western society, the upper class began using cars instead of horses. In 1911, a Ford car dealer in the United States came up with the idea of using cars to play polo as a way to promote his vehicles. In 1911, he designed the details of the car polo game, and in July 1912, the world's first car polo match was played, drawing approximately 5,000 spectators. Whether the Ford Model T cars sold well for this dealer is unknown, but the audience's appreciation for car polo skyrocketed. The rules of car polo were relatively simple. It required an open field measuring 300 feet by 120 feet, with 15-foot wide goals at each end. Each team had 2 cars, each with a driver wearing a seatbelt and a player wielding a mallet. Both teams would drive their cars on the field, chasing the ball and scoring by getting it into the opponent's goal. The cars used in the matches were simplified vehicles without roofs, windshields, or other equipment, making it easier for the players to operate them. These cars could collide at high speeds on the field, and rollovers were common occurrences. Therefore, designers installed roll bars to prevent the cars from crushing the players in the event of a rollover. Americans had a great passion for car polo, especially because it required less space and could be played indoors during the winter. Cities like New York held weekly matches. Although fatalities were not as frequent as popularly believed, the likelihood of injury was likely the highest of any sport, as it was essentially a matter of risking one's life while playing. Spectators standing too close to the field were also at risk. Unlike thrill-seeking Americans, Europeans were initially more resistant to car polo, considering the sport too insane and contradictory to the gentlemanly demeanor upheld by the European upper class. However, car companies were very interested, as the matches showcased the reliability of their cars. The most popular car model for this sport was the Ford Model T, possibly due to its mass production and simple, reliable structure. Despite continuous improvements to the cars used in the matches, the casualty rate remained high. Records show that in 1924 alone, 6 cars were completely destroyed, 15 64-wheels and 10 engines were scrapped. Considering that this sport was still relatively niche compared to traditional sports like soccer, it raises the question of how many athletes and drivers were injured or even killed under these circumstances. Car polo declined in the 1930s, reportedly due to the Great Depression, which left the common people unable to afford to attend matches. After a match, players would end up in the hospital and cars in the repair shop, resulting in significant expenses for the teams and clubs. As a result, car polo gradually faded from public view. However, France later hosted similar polo matches, where players used a tool similar to a tennis racket, with some differences from the early car polo.